Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Burglar Report, number one choice for news, politics, and psychic readings. I, of course, am your stargazing host, Dave Steppenwolf. And now, for today's segment, we're going to be discussing astrology. Of course, we have a huge astrological event tomorrow, astronomical. Probably one of the biggest we'll see in our lifetimes. And does it affect us? Why does it affect us? How does it play into maybe religious culture or belief systems? We're going to get into that. Before I get started, like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, BitChute, and share my videos. Why not? Also, shout out to Big Vanny, Mr. Jack and Juicy. You know who you are. Alright, so, tomorrow. Winter solstice, December 21st. Normally a big deal in ancient cultures. Well, we also have Jupiter and Saturn in alignment. In conjunction, as they say. Supposed to be representative of the Christmas star, a herald leader of Christ in Christian culture. Hasn't happened in 800 years, apparently. Pretty big deal. So, I mean, I know what you're thinking. Astrology, I mean, come on, it's got to be bogus, right? Might have to agree with you. Mainline astrology, I think it's kind of horseshit. Sorry to all you people that make a lot of money doing this stuff. But mainline astrology doesn't even use the stars. It essentially uses a chart, 12 signs of the zodiac, sun in the middle, and they're all perfectly separated by 30 degrees. Or, yes, 30 degrees apart. Now, that's not how the stars are in real life. They're actually, some are 27, some might be 31. There's some degree of separation. And mainline astrology doesn't take into account the precession of the equinox. I believe that's very important. So, I mean, what does that mean? Well, I believe the planets affect us. I believe the planetary bodies are these celestial bodies. They definitely give off some kind of frequency. They definitely give off energy. And just because we can't measure it doesn't mean it's not real. Just because we don't measure how it affects. Well, we do measure it. NASA actually measures the frequencies of the planets, the energy that it gives off, and they measure the harmonics. And apparently, all of our planets, or 8 planets, 1 planetoid, and the sun, almost sing in harmony. I've tried to look up YouTube videos, but the frequencies, the sounds, they all resonate together, which is pretty cool. I mean, pretty fucking, crazy. And speaking of hertz or frequency, our brain waves are measured in frequency, measured in hertz. So who's to say that the energy given off doesn't resonate with our minds? I mean, ancient cultures knew this. They knew the planets represented different aspects of human nature. I mean, the most famous recently is the Mayan calendar. Calendar was roughly 26,000 years, and that's, I believe, the amount of time it takes for our solar system to go around the galaxy. Interesting how they knew that. But they knew everything was a cycles. I mean, everything is cyclical events. My goodness, that word does not roll off the tongue. And our planets are, all the stars, everything has different levels of energy, and all these energies affect us. And the whole 2012 thing is supposed to be end of the world with mainline nonsense, but that's not what they predicted. They predicted it was the end of an era, and from 2012 to 2020, winter solstice tomorrow was a preparation for a new era. And that new era is supposed to be Aquarius. We're supposed to be going into the age of Aquarius. Aquarius being an air sign, not so much wispy, but very, very much intellectually based, social change. And 2020 has been quite the fucking year. You cannot deny that. And all this is culminated together. It's pretty weird. There's something to all this. I believe there is. Just because I can't measure it doesn't mean it's not real. Now these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter, traditionally representing luck and opportunity. Saturn is more like the time, events, law, justice, father, yeah. So they're coming together, supposed to affect our leadership from what I read at different websites. And of course, we're going through quite possibly the greatest presidential election in world history, current world history. I have no idea what past civilizations went through that were wiped out by meteors and shit. Who knows? So, more than coincidence for sure. And it's not just these two planets aligning. They've actually been aligned for a couple weeks. But on the winter solstice, they're going to be perfect alignment with the Earth. And I mean, that's from our vantage point. But they've been aligned in the solar system a couple weeks already. And I think the bigger event was all year, or a good chunk of the year, where you had Pluto involved. You had Pluto, friggin' Saturn, and Jupiter in conjunction. And I mean, they're supposed. That's the last time that happened under Capricorn. I mean, look up all these whatever astrological terms. Was I think it was like almost 1800 BC when Babylon essentially formed, and the Sumerians, and they became one of the greatest freaking civilizations on Earth. So we're talking some celestial conjunctions that are fall in line with essentially events here on Earth of huge change. You have right now we're competing with China. Who knows who could be the next superpower? Hopefully the stars are in line for the U.S. You have some just significant amount of awakening. I mean, the quickening is happening. The quickening is happening. We're having a mass awakening to all this mainstream media, all this mainstream brainwashing, this bullshit, this shit that they try to get you at the gut level to do away with your higher consciousness. I mean, all this fear-based COVID nonsense, not denying the virus, all these lies, all this racial division, that's all meant to just get you in the gut, you get emotionally mad, you get angry with your reptilian brain, and your higher level of consciousness does not engage. You gotta step back and realize they're just playing the hell out of you because the media needs money, the media is dying, and people are tired of it. And that's essentially what Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders represented. They're tired of the mainline politics and the mainline bullshit. I mean, in my last video, we talked about AOC and falling in line with the rest of politicians. Okay, we're not talking about politics right now. We're talking about these crazy astrological events. I mean, I just think there's more to what we can see. I think we're so caught up in our brains and what we believe, and that clouds our reality. What we believe we know, I mean, science gets thrown out every 50 years, physics, whatever department, we discover something new, we understand something new, and all these mathematical theories start to come to light even more so. I mean, right now, dark energy, dark matter, supposedly makes up 80 or so percent of the universe. We just can't measure it, we can't see it, but it's all theorized. There's different stuff holding our universe together, different things that we don't necessarily measure, we can't see. That, I mean, I've said it before. I like to quote Shakespeare. A rose by any other name is still a rose. You have magic, science, religion, God, different names for the same phenomenon throughout history, different stories. I think is legit. I'm a Christian. I don't take anything away from God. I think I just have a scientific mind, and I believe it's the same story from one side to the other. Different scientific explanations is the same as God's creation, evolution, falls right in line with creation. There's no debate in my mind about that. Looking at all these astrological events that have been happening. I don't know when the last Christmas star before 800 years ago was, but look at, say, the precession of the equinox. It all falls in line with stories of the Bible. Like, say, when Moses went up Mount Sinai to get the tablets for the Ten Commandments, and this was during, this was right after Taurus. He comes back down, they're all worshiping the golden calf, Taurus. He gets mad, goes back up, gets another set of tablets, and the new era, everything is about rams. Aries. Taurus, Aries are in order. And then what's next? Pisces. What is Jesus doing with his feeding his followers with fish in the bread? And the sign of Jesus is a fish. So you have Taurus, Aries, Pisces, and okay? In the Bible also, Jesus' followers ask, when you're gone, what do we look for? Where do we go? And he talks about going to a house. You'd see a man with a pitcher. That's the water bearer. That's Aquarius. We're going to the age of Aquarius, and those fall in line exactly with the astrological order: Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius. Bible, I believe, is a greater story of the cosmos, greater celestial story, on top of it being essentially a history of here on Earth. As the Knights Templar said, as above, so below. You had Jesus and his disciples, 12 disciples. You got the sun and 12 signs of the zodiac. A lot of similarities, a lot of different metaphors that I believe are heavily involved with our development. God created the heavens. Why wouldn't he set things in motion that affected us here on Earth? Makes sense to me. I'm just saying, you make your own decisions. Not bad mouthing the church. Well, I think a lot of religious leaders are all about control. And I think Satan and whoever's been in control of this planet, and a lot of people are waking up. It's fucking fantastic. Not enough, unfortunately, because you got people that fucking vote for Joe Biden. What are you going to do? Politics, we don't discuss it, right? Politics, religion, that's all I discuss on my channel. I love it. But I'm just saying, there's definitely some significance to this. I mean, you go through Revelations. Actually, I want to make a video about it. I think Revelations is both... Ooh, baby, that one fell over. Ooh, what's going on? I think Revelations is both history and future, but we can get into that later. But, I don't know. Interesting things. Looking forward to checking out this Christmas star tomorrow. Hopefully you go out and check it out. A lot of stuff you gotta look up for yourself. Do your own investigations. I tell you, my saying is, think for yourself, take your fucking power back. Okay, there's a mass awakening going on. I do believe 100% in the mass consciousness. I mean, we're all connected literally by freaking molecules in the air. You can't deny that there's no connection between me and you. Even looking through the freaking electrons going through this video and hitting your eyeballs, and we're all connected. It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, you can feel a person's energy when they're upset. I mean, music artists and comedians talk about the energy of a crowd. You can feel the energy in a crowd if you've ever been in a freaking large crowd of people. When shit gets weird, you feel a tension that's... the freaking hair in the back of your neck stands up. You want to get the fuck out. When shit gets crazy or people want to fight, people start getting loud. So, there's definitely a lot to the planetary energy that affects us. And I mean, even when you get to like astrological charts, or they call them natal birth charts, I think. Who's to say that a certain conjunction of planetary energies at your point of creation, which is for some cultures, the ancient cultures, was the formation of the pineal gland at 42 days, or it's actually roughly around the time 5-6 weeks when your sex organs form. Who's to say when you come into being, you have your heartbeat at 6 weeks, that those planetary energies don't develop your personality or your almost predetermined destiny, that you have your free will. I keep an open mind, and I don't throw anything aside. I'm a truth seeker, just trying to get out there and try to understand. That's all it is. And with that, I'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna check out some, hopefully get some good, not shots, but I want to see the freaking, Christmas star. Pretty excited. Winter solstice, and just keep an open mind. Hopefully this mass consciousness, great awakening thing happens, and I'm pretty excited about it. But cheers, and have a good night.